Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. It is extremely late here in the UK. It's actually I'm slightly late by a couple of minutes. It is 1:45 midnight here in the UK, the witching hour. So yes, that is why we like doing these late shifts. Hopefully it's going to become semi-regular, hopefully maybe at least once a month, maybe a couple of times a month, depending on how everybody is. I can see some people flooding into the chat here already. Good evening to Minor Hill. Good evening to Ed. Oh, hang on, that didn't work. There we go, that one. Good evening to Ed, one of our lovely moderators. Please wait till Lisa opens up the next round to ask your question. Yes, please wait. There's Ed again. We've got Necro Neil. Good evening, Neil. Good evening to Sean G. I love the colour of your hair in that profile picture. That looks awesome. I wish I could have mad coloured hair again. Mine used to be purple and green and all sorts. Now it's sort of whatever chestnut brown, whatever it says on the packet. I think it's normally chestnut brown or mid brown and shades of grey. So yeah, lovely. Good evening, Crystal Rose. Thank you, Crystal Rose. I apparently look lovely today. Thank you. And thank you very much. It's 5 p.m. in Colorado. Good evening to you, Judy. Good evening to you. I know it's properly evening. Normally when we say good evening, it's like, it's about 5 in the morning. How are we all doing this fine evening? Let me know in the chat how your day is going so far. We have had, oh God, we've had an arse of a day. We were supposed to have plasterers in today to do our kitchen and our bathroom. They didn't tell us that we had to completely strip the kitchen, take everything off the walls, all the shelves and the microwave and, you know, my coffee. So yeah, that they're coming back tomorrow, and we've had a day of taking everything out of the kitchen, including the fridge freezer. So that was fun, as you can imagine. When I say fun, I mean absolutely not in any way, shape or form. But anyhow, it's fine. It's all good. We're here. It's coming up to the witchy hour. We're all doing fine and dandy, aren't we? Fine and dandy. It's just, oh no, that was a hard candy Christmas. I know, Ed, I'm going to be singing today. I got very little sleep because the plasters were turning up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we had to be up before them. And of course, and now I'm still awake. So all the good. I've got a Dr. Pepper and I've got some squash to keep me going tonight. Obviously, no caffeine because I am going to need to go to bed at some point tonight. So then let's have a look. So for those of you new to the channel, oh, yes, we had salad tonight as well. We had a bit of gammon, lovely gammon, some vegetarian sausages and huge salad. That because everything is in and out of everywhere, I had to mix this out. Normally I've got a big salad bowl that I mix all this. So I had to get a bag, like a Ziploc bag, a big giant Ziploc bag like this, put all the salad in, and all the onions and all the mushrooms and everything, and then literally get my hand in and manually do all of this to toss the salad today. It's funny. And then I kept singing, toss salads and scrambled eggs, they're coming away, or whatever it was. It was funny for about 3 seconds. And then I said it about 15 seconds. So yeah. Yes, we also have a mold problem. Yep. So basically packing up your whole flat. Yes. That is exactly what we have been doing, Crystal Rose. That's exactly the reason that they're coming to do the damp and coming to do the plastering. But anyway, if you are new here, you might not know how the channel works. So my name is Lisa. And in fact, I tell you what, hang on, should we do it professionally? Should we pretend I'm a professional YouTuber? Are you ready? My name is Lisa, and this is Beyond Authentic Late Shift. I made that about 25 minutes ago. It's cool, isn't it? So this is the late shift, which means that as we are starting today, it's 1:45 midnight here in the UK. We're going to run till 2 a.m. UK time, which apparently will be 7 p.m. Colorado time. See, Judy, I worked that out in my own head then. Look, do you notice that was live? I didn't have it written down or nothing. So what do we do on this channel? basically what we do is, oh, Ed, you'll be fantastic. You know you'll be fantastic. You've got this, my friend. You've got this. So what we do is we do lots of different tarot readings. I do tarot reviews. I do witch casket unboxings. I might be doing a witch box unboxing, other things like that. Spells are on the channel, workings, things about sabbats, lots and lots of stuff like that. But mainly at the moment, all the live streams are about tarot readings. So do keep an eye out for the live streams. Make sure that you are obviously subscribed and dong your bell and change your settings to all so that YouTube lets you know when we go live and when we do these late shifts, because I really want to do more of them, because I know that a lot of our members, a lot of our subscribers are in the States or in India, and the time zones work much better for you in those areas of the world for later on here in the UK. So I'm going to try and make it maybe a fortnightly occasion, something like that. But make sure you are subscribed and that your bell is changed to all. That's really important. That way you'll be told whenever I'm live. Also, as the lovely Necroneil's popped in the chat there, do have a look on my Instagram. It's suddenly woken up from the dead like a zombie. Maybe not like a zombie, more like a vampire. Okay, I was going to say Frankenstein's monster, but no, more like a vampire. It's woken up all sexy and swarthy with that lovely sort of rotting corpse smell that vampires have. You know that smell, like, oh, it's so sexy, isn't it? But it's woken up, its fangs have come in, and it is now looking for food. So that is what the Instagram is. But basically there's lots of posts going on there now, lots of updates on the channel, what we're doing, and that is instagram.com/Beyond Authentic Tarot. So keep an eye out for that, because I will be doing later in the year, I will be starting some tarot video series where I'm going to be talking about my version of reading the tarot, which, as you all know, is a little bit different. So then, talking about the tarot, if you want a reading on this here channel tonight, how do you get a channel? How do you get a reading? There are two ways. Good evening to the lovely Patricia. Good evening, Patricia. You're here, my darling. Don't worry. If we hear snoring coming from that there part of the world, we'll know that you've nodded. Don't you worry about it, my darling. But thank you ever so much for joining. So how do you get a reading? There's two ways. The first way is dead simple. You can send it as a super chat. Okay, now at the moment you can send any amount. We are going to be putting some basic limits on that now, because we get lots and lots of super chat requests, and unfortunately some of them are for a couple of pence, literally, and it's taking a lot of time from other people and other readings. So we're going to put like a small minimum on there at some point. Good evening to Jack Griffith. But at the moment you can send it in any amount. That is absolutely fine. There's no limit on that at the moment. The other way to do it is to wait until I open up a free round and then pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and one of those will get picked at random. The keeper of the questions will pick one at random, send me the name over on WhatsApp, and then I will read for that person. Okay, that way it takes me out of the equation, means it's a lot fairer, and the keeper of the questions will be a nominated mod per shift, and they will just pick one at random. That way I can't be accused of picking people that I know or picking people that I don't know or any of that. And although we've been trying to randomize it with dice and spinning wheels and all of that, this just means it's a lot faster, because the other week we could have done easily another 3 readings in the time it took me to faff around throwing dice and giving people numbers and all of that. So do please just make sure that when we open up a round, put your question in, and the keeper of the questions will send me that on WhatsApp, one of the mods. So then, oh, look at that, Judy, straight in there with the YouTubey things. Don't forget to hit that like button. Have I got a new do I have a music sting for like? How about, that's all right, isn't it? Hit the like button, and also share and subscribe. Yes, indeed, do all the YouTubey things. That would be lovely. So then, before we start, as it says on screen, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Okay, that's really important. Yes, I will give you some answers and some guidance, but at the end of the day, feel free to completely ignore what I say. You can. It's your life, my darling, right? It's your life, not mine. I live my life. You live your life. I will give you some guidance. I won't be offended if you turn around and say, who the hell does that fat cow think she is? I'm going to do my own thing. That's what you want to do, my darling. You do it. Okay. Absolutely. You do it. Now, you should be aware that tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you are looking for support in those areas and you'll hear me say it on a regular basis, please do seek out professionals. I am not a professional. Yes, I have some counselling experience and lots of other bits and pieces that I've done over the years, but unfortunately, I am not a trained counsellor, doctor. Imagine if I was a trained doctor, financial advisor, lawyer, and counsellor. How much money would I be making being professional in 4 different? I mean, I also wouldn't sleep, but you know, imagine being a professional in all those different areas. You'd just be like, well, you wouldn't ever sleep, would you? You literally wouldn't sleep. Also, you do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel, because I cannot be bothered dealing with parents, guardians, caregivers, anybody like that. No, if you are under 18, like, go look up in your local newspaper for your horoscopes or something. Don't come to me for a reading, because I really don't want, like, your mum called Karen knocking on my door going, here, you gave my Tommy a tarot reading and now he's not going to do his GCSEs, or he's not going to do his A-levels or his high school diploma, his SATs or whatever that is, right? Do not come to me if you're under 18. But also, don't dox yourself, right? Listen, if you're new here, this community is one of the best communities on YouTube. There is so much love and support in the chat. So if you are going through it, feel free to reach out to the chat. There's so much love and support there. The moderators are one of the best groups of mods anywhere on the interwebs. They really are. And they've all been through lives. They've all got lots of lived experience. And they're all very, very good at offering bits of advice. Some more practical, some more magical. They are all very, very lovely people in the chat. So if you are going through it, do please feel free to come here and hang out and watch me do some readings and fumble over my words and all of that. You are more than welcome. But again, it isn't counselling advice. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, don't dox yourself, right? That's what I was saying. We're a lovely community, but please don't get so relaxed and comfortable with us that you are saying, guess what, Patricia? Guess what? My boss goes away on holiday on Monday. So I'm going to nick $7,500 on Tuesday, and then he won't know. And I'm going to go to Vegas and I'm going to put it all on black and I'm going to win. And then I'll put it back in. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't tell us what you're planning if you're doing something illegal, or if you're having an affair with your boss's wife. Don't tell us on the interwebs. Keep your details secret, right? Don't dox yourself. Don't put any revealing information on. Don't say to people, oh, I live in the city centre, right in the centre of Manchester, right opposite the train station in the block of flats. Mine is the red door. And I've normally got bushes hanging. I've normally got bushes outside, you know, those lovely plastic ones. But at the moment, I've got a giant England flag for the football. Don't tell us that, because we'll be able to come round your house for a cup of coffee. And you know what some of us are like. We'll do anything for a coffee. So just keep your own privacy private and all of that lovely stuff. Right then, all of that being said, I'm going to say hello to Melinda Brown. Is this a new date or time? So we've done this a few times, a late shift. And basically what it is, it's a chance for our American cousins, our Indian cousins, our Australian cousins, basically for people that aren't in the GMT type European time zones. It gives a chance for everybody the other side of the world to get some readings and to interact on a time that suits you all. So that's what we've been doing. We've been doing it a few times. Hopefully it's going to be a monthly or maybe a fortnightly thing. We'll see how it goes at the moment. But the last few times we've done it, it's been really popular and people have really enjoyed it. And I've got to say, it's also really nice, warm, friendly vibe at this time of night. So yes, anywho, I think I have waffled enough. So everybody now knows how you get a reading, and everybody now knows all of the gubbins. So then, I think it's time. Do we think it's time? Should we open up a free round? So I'm going to open up a free round right now. And as I say, you can send a super chat at any time. That guarantees your reading is up next. Okay. If I get multiple super chats in, then I will do the super chats in the order they come in, and then I'll open up another free round. But super chats always get priority. Eventually, there will be a limit for the upper super chats where I do the 7-card or 8-card spreads. But at the moment, we're just doing it on the donation basis. Don't forget, 10% of all the money that comes through to us after YouTube takes its 30% cut, 10% goes to fight bladder cancer, and another 10% goes to Bladder Cancer UK. Two charities that helped me out recently when I've been dealing with bladder cancer. So then, you all know how to go about doing it. Go ahead and do those things. So it is time on the late shift to open up a free round. Go ahead and do that just about now. Yes, indeed. I can see by the numbers in the chat that there are some questions that have come in. Let me have a look. Let me go onto the comments page. So then, I've got a reading from Hello Holland. Oh, I've got all 4 of the main mods here. Thank you, everybody. I'm sure Jay's lurking somewhere as well. Right then, let me have a look. So we've got a question in from... Oh, hang on. It looks like I've got a question in from Melinda Brown. I've got a question in from Crystal Rose. And I've got a question in from Sean G. So then, mods, who am I reading for tonight? Let me know in the chat that whoever is the keeper of the questions, go ahead and let me know. Neil, thank you very much. Sean G. Why have I still got the banner running? Sorry, everybody. Hang on a second. There we go. Turn that off. Sean G, my darling, your question is the first one off the first cab off the rank today. So then, let me have a look. Sean G. If you're not Sean G and you asked a question, go ahead and select and copy your question and get ready to pop it into the comment section when we open up another round, another freebie round. Right then. So, question. Your mother is coming here, but you haven't spoke to her in a month and don't care to. What is her energy towards you? I'll tell you what, my darling. Let's bring the other webcam in, the card cam, and let's have a look in that there. I'm about to say in that there chat. It's not the chat, is it? It's not the chat. Let's ask the deck. That's what I was trying to say. Hang on. There we go. Move that over slightly. Move that to there. There we go. It's all good. Don't touch it. I know I do this every night. Is that going to be right in my face? Probably. There we go. Right. Card cam. So then, as always, even though it's super late, we still ring the bell. I know. I told Rufus to put headphones on. I was like, I've got to ring me bell every time. I know. I have made the list of, nagging wives. That's what list I've just made. I'm telling you. I'm like, put your headphones on. Otherwise you'll be awake all night. Go on, put your headphones on. Right then. So then, oops, a daisy. We've had some cards flip. Thank you, mods. The mods have just said who is the keeper of the questions tonight, so that's fantastic. So I'm not going to name who it is because they've literally just done a whole poll. So whoever is the keeper of the questions, that's how they shall be named this evening. So then, Wispy, my darling, have I played Wispy? There we go. Sean G would like to know, my mother is coming here, but I haven't spoken to her in a month and don't care to. What is her energy towards them? So what is Sean G's energy towards them? Families, you know what they say, can't live with them, can't get away with murdering all of them, you know. let's not go there. By the way, yeah, let's not go there. So we're going to have a look at the where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is when she comes, right? When your mother's there. I mean, can I just look before I do your reading? I do just have to say something, Sean. Here we go. Look, if you don't want her to come to your house, does she have to be invited? Just saying. Anyway, let's have a look at what the cards say. So, in the where you are, we've got the Ace of Swords reversed. Oh, she's bringing shit. She's bringing hassle your way. She is bringing forked tongue and stress and strife. Right, what you need to know. Oh, yep, there's definitely some emotional stuff coming. Oh, gosh. Right, cancel it. Cancel it. Listen, this is only guidance, right? You make all the decisions about your own life. But let me tell you why I am saying so vehemently, if you can, to cancel. So, where you are, we've got the Ace of Swords. Swords is your trouble and strife, your challenge, your hurdles, all of those things, right? It is all of the challenges. Thank you, Ed. It's all of that. Ace is a brand new start. This is reversed, so it means it's coming to you. She wants to start another fight. She wants to keep going and opening her mouth and all of those things. There is shit that hasn't been stirred yet. And she's got her wooden spoon, my love. She has got her wooden spoon, and she is getting ready to stir that shit as much as possible. So yeah, that's in the where you are. So this is what's happening. The fact that it's reversed is her energy coming towards you. The Three of Cups. Now, this is what you need to know. So this is about your energy, right? You need to be really careful, right? So Three of Cups this way up is lovely. Come and have a cup of tea, have a lovely cup of coffee. Let's sit down. Let's have a snack, a cookie, a croissant, a biscuit or whatever. That's like English biscuit, which you call cookies. But let's sit down and have something to eat, and we'll have a lovely time, and it'll all be lovely, and we'll go to a cafe and they're lovely, lovely, lovely. Not when it's like this. So the threes are normally about bringing people together. We've got the three muses, we've got the three graces, we've got the three sisters. There's this whole idea linking in with this card about bringing in new togetherness. So 2 is a couple coming together, and then 3 is bringing in children or pets or whatever it is, you know, having those beginnings of a whole extended family that isn't just you and a partner. But this is reversed, and this is coming up in the what you need to know. I don't think she's got I don't think she's got any intention of playing nicey. I really, really don't. And then this card backs it up as well. What is the potential? The Two of Swords reversed. So swords, again, like I said here, trouble and strife. The Two of Swords, the crossed swords or crossed words. It's about arguments. It's about all of that stuff. It's about the nightmare, the questions, the continual arguments. I do not think this visit is going to go well. I really do not. If you could avoid it, I would say absolutely to avoid it, because it's got that sort of element. It really has. It's really got that. There's put it this way. This is one of those times where if you don't drink, you will do after this. If you don't smoke, you will do after this. If you know what I mean, if you don't, I don't know, need therapy, you will do after this. There is so much negativity here that it really, really, really isn't worth the doodah, if that makes sense. So yeah, my gut instinct has been backed up by the cards. In all honesty, my darling, if you can avoid the situation, I would say avoid it for your own mental health, but also for hers, because you don't want her coming into that situation either, where the two of you are just going to be at loggerheads because you just cannot get on. But yeah, I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. I hate it when, you know, you've got so-called family members, people that you are blood related to, and that's all it is at the end of the day, isn't it? It's somebody who is blood related. I know she gave birth to you, but I firmly believe that your family are the people you choose to have around you, and sometimes some of those people can end up being incredibly toxic. And then for your own mental health, for your own safety, your own sanity, sometimes all we can do is move forward without them in our lives, if that makes sense. So I'm going to say thank you very much, my darling. I'm going to come back into that there chat, and let's have a look at what you have. Let's see what you've said. Oh, you just said thank you. Oh, no worries, my darling. You're going to try to. You don't plan on answering your door if she comes here. Yeah, absolutely, my darling. Absolutely. Just, you know, we've got one of those blink doorbell, ring doorbell things. They're very, very good, because it goes bing bong, and then we go, look on the camera. Who is it? Oh no, I don't want to speak to them. Is the door locked? Yes. Okay, then that's good. That's what we do. It's literally what we do. So if you ever turn up at my place and I don't answer the door, just it means I'm not there. It doesn't mean I'm in the bedroom hiding. It means I'm definitely not there. But yes, there you are, my darling. I hope that helps. Listen, as I say, toxic family members, I am a world expert in, from being verbally abused in my own home by my aunts on the day of my mum's funeral, to having a toxic sibling. You know, absolutely been there, done that. Bought the t-shirt, sold the t-shirt, bought it back because it was retro. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope you can again get away with not answering the door on that day. But I wish you the very, very best of luck, my darling, and thank you very much for your question. Right then, good evening, Keisha Williams. How are you, my darling? I agree with this, Patricia. Look at this, Patricia the Wise. The universe gives us our family, so we're grateful we can choose our friends. Absolutely. The family you create, for me, is always far more important than the family you happen to be born into. I've meant that for many years, and I've said that for many years. Anyway, let's get another cab off the rank, shall we? So let's go ahead and open up another one of those free rounds. We're going to do that right now. So if you would like a question, do please go ahead and pop your question into that there live chat, starting with the word question. Don't forget, the only way to get your reading, to guarantee your reading is up next, is to send it as a super chat. That can be of any amount, and that will guarantee you are up next. Should I get more than one super chat, I'll read those in the order they came in on. So then, everybody, here is your 30-second reminder of all that I've just said. Okay then, right, let me pop that back down there. So then, I think we've got some questions in. It certainly looks like it. So then, hello, Jay. Oh, no worries, my darling. Good evening to you. Right then, the keeper of the keys. Keeper of the keys. Keeper of the questions. That's what I meant to say. Keeper of the question. I'm going to have to do a jingle, aren't I? Keeper of the questions. Who are we reading for? It looks as if we've got Melinda. So, Melinda, have you even got a question in? Yes, you have. Look at that right there. So then, Melinda, my darling, a general reading. We can certainly do that for you. Let me just hit the star. No, where's the star button? There you go. I need to star it and put it into the other screen. So then, Melinda, a general reading. We can certainly do that, my love. So let's have a look. We're going to swap the camera back over. There we go. And we're going to cleanse the space. Do you know what I found? as we've been sorting things out, I found the big version of this. It's like the bell part is about this big. I might have to use that on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, when I'll be doing my next Sunday session, my next lot of tarot readings. So then let's bring in Wispy. So Wispy, Melinda Brown, my potential sister from a different mister, is wanting a general reading. There we go. Look, all those cards fell. I should have my splint on. It's just here, but I don't really want to wear it while I'm trying to shuffle. It's like my hands are bad enough as it is. Do you know what I mean? Trying to shuffle with a wrist splint on. So yes. So by the way, if you are wondering who the keeper of the questions are, they are one of the moderators who happens to just send me over one of the names, so that I don't even need to be swayed now by the doodah in the chat, by whoever it is. So I can't say, oh, Melinda's really lovely, I'll do one for Melinda. We don't get to do that anymore. It's now completely doodahed. It's completely random. Right then, did I do a drop? No, I didn't do a drop, Lisa. So then let's do the drop. There we go. And oh gosh. Right then, so Melinda, a general reading for you. Wispy, we'll do it for we'll do it up until the end of July, beginning of August. So what's that? About 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, or so, something like that. Right then, so where you are, options closing in, maybe. The High Priestess though, and that's quite nice. Why is it at that angle? Hang on. So that's like that. That's like that. That's like that. Let me just. There we go. That's more pleasing to my eye. So then, where you are right now, we've got the world, Melinda. Now, I would be jumping up and down for joy if this card came up, but it's reversed. Which means, I mean, don't look too closely. I am sure for the world and the star card in this deck, I'm sure that there was a paparazzi taking pictures of me while I was, skinny dipping in my neighbour's backyard. But we'll ignore that and move swiftly on. But the world card like this is talking about stepping through a portal, ending one chapter, because the tarot goes from 0 with the full all the way through to 20. And then starts again. Through to 21, sorry, and then starts again. 21 is the last of the main tarot cards, and it's the portal that you step through to start over on your new journey. But this is reversed, my darling. So it's saying that I don't think the journey is something that you're wanting right now. So it's almost like you're being forced to step through that portal. You're being forced to start over, and it's not necessarily going to be that comfortable a feeling. It's like when you reach a certain age and you go, sod it, I'm going to go and buy a Ferrari, or whatever people do in their midlife crisis. I start tarot channels on YouTube. No, I'm joking. I don't, but whatever that is, it feels like you've reached a certain point and now you have to take that step, but it's something you're still not quite comfortable with yet. Now, in the what you need to know, it's almost like, but it's the rules. Like it's the rules. You have to do this because it's the rules. So these two are very firmly linked on this reading. The High Priestess, as you can see, is normally quite aloof. She's quite cold, maybe. And this one doesn't look quite as aloof, but look, she has got a very stern, I think that's a very stern face. She's looking at you and saying, are you sure you want me to open this box? This is Pandora's box. This is the Pandorica. This is going to change everything. But it's the time. You are the chosen one. The box needs to open. And she follows those rules. Yes, it's all connected in with the Torah. It's connected in with religion because she's the High Priestess and she stands between the black and the white. So she's liminal and all of these lovely things. But at the end of the day, again, she is an important person related to following what should be done and the way that it needs to be done. And so coming up with the world as well, I just think That's a lot of change, but you have to do it because this is the right thing. This is what you have to do, if that makes sense. The outcome, so the next couple of weeks, you are going to be planting some seeds for longer term growth and longer term benefits. Okay, so don't feel that whatever this change is, that it's all going to be for nothing. It is laying down some really strong roots for the future, some really strong you're planting some crops that are going to be turning over year after year after year. It's just, this is the beginning. Okay, you can see we've got raindrops here. This is the perfect time to sow this. I think it's supposed to be an onion. I don't know, I might be wrong, but it's the perfect time to plant it, because look, you've got all of the roots coming off. The soil is perfect. It's nice and light soil, and you've got the rain coming down. This is the best time. And just look how mucky this person's hand is, because they're working in the garden. Pentacles is about growth, finances, work, career, all of that. So if you're looking at making some changes in those areas, this is a really good time. The next few weeks, think about what you're doing, think about where you want to be, all of that, but take some action. This is a time for sowing those seeds, planting those bulbs, and planning for potentially a better future. Hopefully, my darling, that makes sense. Thank you very much for your question, Melinda. And yay, I hope that helps. Let me just go back over onto the other doodah, and let me have a look in the comment section. So then, my darling, let me have a look. Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to say that. If your questions aren't chosen, do please go ahead and select and copy your question and get ready to post it in the next round. Thank you very much. So Nightfall Waves, hello my darling. I knew if it wasn't you, there's a few other people that I thought, yeah, they'll get that. Yep. Yep, the people I thought would get the very obvious Doctor Who references got the Doctor Who reference. So yay, that's really good. No. Yeah. So I hope that helps, my darling. And as I say, Melinda, do just start planning that for the future. It sounds like the future is going to be a bit more growth and a bit more pentacles coming your way. Maybe a bit of a more financially sound August onwards. So yeah, fingers crossed for that, my darling. Right then, let's have a wee look. I've just pressed the wrong button. There we go. I'm back again. They were very good episodes. I must admit, I did like the Pandora Code. The heat went down, Deb, to 31 degrees. It went down to 31. I just couldn't. I could not. If you said it went down to 3.1, oh yeah, lovely. Wrap up in a jumper, go out with your scarf on. Absolutely lovely. Last time you saw Doctor Who, it was Tom Baker. I started watching with the very end of Tom Baker and the very beginning of Peter Davison. Peter Davison was my doctor. So yay, and I've watched it ever since, and I've got most of the DVDs because I'm sad, very sad, very, very sad. I know. All right, Jay, shut up. Not all of us are 12. Right. Shall we have another round? Go on then. I think we should have another round. So if you would like a tarot reading, please do go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, or you can go ahead and send it as a super chat to guarantee that you will be up next. Okay, that's the only two ways of getting a reading. Wait until I open up a free round, or send it through as a super chat. At the moment, we're opening up another free round. Ooh, it's open. Let's go ahead and give you that 30-second video. talking about Doctor Who and all things sci-fi. If you are a regular here, you might know that I love all things horror, as does one of the amazing mods. I was about to say my brother, but pretty much my brother from another mother, the lovely and very cool Necro Neil. And Neil has just rejigged and relaunched as part of the zine that he writes, and it's now available in a whole different place. So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just watch this.
Legend has it that it was written by the Dark Ones.
It is coming. Necronomicon. Strange tales of the supernatural and the unearthly, when the fabled Necronomicon unleashes his ancient secrets.
The secrets of the Necronomicon do not come cheap.
Necronomicon.
What's in the basket? Easter eggs?
It's still my favorite edit I've ever done, because I make those. My favorite edit I've ever done is when he says, the secrets of the Necronomicon do not come cheap, and then it cuts to where you can buy it from, and it's £2. It makes me giggle. Right, we've had a super chat in, so everybody do me a favor. If you sent a question in, go ahead and select and copy your question, because we have a super chat in from Mindful Mind. So then, Mindful Mind, what is your question, my darling? What is your question? Mindful Mind, just type it into the chat if you can, my darling. If you're just paying a fiver to help out, that's really lovely as well. So thank you very much for that. But do please send it across if you can. Pop your question into the chat. You love that visual gag on the ad. I also love it when she says, "What's in the basket? Easter eggs?" Oh, it's very funny. It's as I was making the advert, Neil, as I was making the advert, I was chuckling to myself and thinking, if people have watched horror, they will get this. If people have watched the film that bit's from, and also Basket Case, which is just as bizarre, bonkers horror film, if they've watched it, that's funny. That's just funny. Thank you, Patricia. Mindful Mind. Oh, there we go. I've got it, my darling. I've got it. It's just popped up. It is just popped up. Right then, let's have a look for you. So I'm going to swap over to the card cam. And as always, I'm on my other screen, so I can't see the chat, but we're going to bring in Wispy once I cleanse the space. So if everybody wonders why I do the bell, it's because we use it to cleanse the space. So that cleanses the energy that I work with in between readings. And then we bring in the wind chimes, which is Wispy's sort of theme music now, really. It's his theme sound. And Wispy is an air elemental that I work with, a bit like a Egregore Servitor Tulpa. If you want to know more, there's a whole podcast episode all about Wispy, which is linked down below. What was that? Don't know what that was. Lots of things just fell underneath my desk. That's not a good sign, is it? Right. So then, Mindful Mind, let's have a look. Wispy, Mindful Mind needs to know. I'm married and I love my husband, but he's having an affair. Sorry about that, my darling. Will my husband stop the affair and stay to work on our marriage with me? Let's have a look. Again, this is only guidance from the cards. You make all your own decisions about your own life, but of course, my darling, you do know that. So then let's have a look. So Wispy, we're going to do, I'll tell you what, Wispy, we're going to do the inverted triangle with the standard opener, right? Okay, so where you are now, my darling. Oh, King of Swords. Husband's being a bastard. What you need to know. Oh, the moon reversed, and what the future opportunities are. The Eight of Swords, and then linking the Knight of Swords to the moon. We've got the High Priestess linking the moon to the Eight of Swords. We've got the Sun reversed, and linking those two at the very root of everything. we've got another 8, the 8 of Pentacles. Right, my darling. So let's have a look where you are. The King of Swords. So the King of Swords is your trouble and strife. Okay, your obstacles, your challenges, your hardships in life. That's all of those things we've got to overcome. King is very, very masculine energy, sometimes seen as authoritative energy. In somebody who is married, it can relate to the husband. Somebody that isn't, it can relate, or it can still relate to a father figure or to a boss, somebody like that. But this does feel like it is about your husband, especially when you say that he's the one that's having an affair. The Swords is that troubled energy, if that makes sense. So I do think that this is where we're going with the card. So that does make perfect sense with what you've said. What you need to know, we've got the moon, and the moon is reversed. Let me just get the animation. So the standard moon, I mean, this isn't the standard moon, but the standard moon talks about lunar cycles and lots of weird and wonderful things. Now, this moon card, we've got one of the followers of the moon, the devotee. So this could be seen as a druid, it could be seen as a witch, it could be seen as a pagan, it could be all sorts of different people, but it's somebody who is monitoring, worshipping, and actively involved with the moon. But the moon card is also a little bit about navel gazing, waiting, and not taking action, and kind of waiting for, you know, a sign, waiting for a bigger sign, waiting for an even bigger sign. It's like the moon, sometimes it can relate to time periods, because obviously we've got that element of 28 days between the moon cycles. It can also relate to feminine energy, again, because of that cycle period, a bit like the periods that cycle, you know what I mean? So there's a lot here that kind of connects with womanhood. In the what you need to know, though, it's saying that time, I think time is ticking. Okay, I think you need to take action. I think waiting around for hubby to sort his head out and realize what's happening or what he's going to lose, I don't think that's going to help. It really feels like you need to take some assertive action. And I'll tell you why, because in the future to come, we've got the 8 of Swords, and this is talking about being blindfolded and trapped and kept back. And I don't want this to be you, my darling. I don't want you to feel that, you know, because of what your husband's actions are, that you're actually, you know, suffering because of that. At the end of the day, you might be blindsided by this affair. It might be something that you're absolutely, you know, heartbroken over and everything else. But you don't want to remain trapped in something where, quite often with the 8, this would represent a blindfold. And you can see all of these scissors are bound in this ribbon. Even when they're trying to cut, they're still bound by it. It's tying them, it's blocking them, it's slowing them down. And so you've got this energy here with this card that is talking about, no matter what you can see right now, there is more to come. And I don't want you to feel that, my darling. I don't want you to get into that position where you're just trapped and waiting for him to make those decisions. I think you've absolutely got to take some action and either have it out and say, what are you doing? Or, you know, kind of have that moment of, how can I put it? I think there needs to be that confrontation, but I also think it's kind of happened, and now you're in the what do I do next kind of phase of that. Let's have a look. We've got the High Priestess coming up. Now, again, you've got 3 major arcana cards here. Now, the High Priestess, as I said before, because it's already come up this evening, the High Priestess is about being a stickler for the rules, and she's also got this secret with this Pandora's box. Okay, you might not have wanted to know. It might have been better if he'd just done his thing, gone off and did whatever he needed to do, and then realize, oh shit, I can't be doing this. I'm going to miss everything about my wife or my husband. I'm going to miss everything up, and I need to sort my head out. Do you know what I mean? And I think this is something where that knowledge weighs very, very heavily, like the High Priestess. And I do question whether or not there's something here about maybe asking for support from an organization, something like maybe a church or maybe a group, something where you can get some actual support. The one thing I will say, though, interestingly, this card also talks of a time period, because you can see we've got, even though they're in white on a tan background, I hope that's, you can just about see it, we've got the phases of the moon, and they're in an ethereal state. So it's talking about that monthly change, that from a new moon to a full moon. And again, with this moon card here, I do think there is something about action need to take place within a month, because I do think that clock is definitely ticking at the moment. Alongside this, linking that moon card with that taking action energy with the 8, you've got a card which normally would be a really lovely joyous moment in the sun, but it's come up reversed. And again, I do think that clock is ticking. I think that this card is talking about that really lovely warm feeling from the sun, that really nice summer's day, when couples get a bit frisky, when kids are out playing. I don't mean at the same time, but kids are out playing, everybody's lovely, the sun's shining, it's a really warm, lovely feeling. This is reversed, and I think it's basically saying, look, this feeling hasn't been there for a while. And I don't know whether there's a question over children, over whether that's your own children or adopted children. I don't know whether there's, or even like fur babies, I don't know whether there's been a question over that that's kind of been a bit of a stickler. But then at the base of it, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Now, what this card would suggest is that the root of it is somebody has been working either too hard, or somebody has been, I mean, it could be that work was the excuse, oh, I've got to go on a work trip, I'm going to be late from work this week. But it could also be because we've got the 8s, and 8s are always about the journey to the 9. It's like the 8 isn't really the important card, the 9 is. So the 8 tells us how we get to the 9. In this case with the Pentacles, it's talking about burning the candle at both ends. But there is that slight element here of, with an affair, maybe he was burning the candle at both ends. Maybe he was juggling the two of you for a little while. I don't think, looking at this, I don't think your husband will stop the affair unless you are the one that takes action. Okay, that's what this high priestess is saying. It's like you need to be the one that basically calls his bluff, or says, look, I know what's happening, what the hell are you doing? And if not, I think there's a real danger here of you getting trapped in. And when I say trapped, I don't mean like physically. I don't think he's going to lock you in the bedroom or something and not let you out. I think it's far more likely that there's going to be gaslighting and manipulation and all of those things happening, to the extent where it's like you don't know what's up and what's down, you don't know what's true and what's not. And I think there's going to be that sort of, that really confusing, you know what I mean, where it's really like you can't do right for doing wrong. I've got to say, there's nothing here about your husband staying with you to work on the marriage, but also there's nothing here specifically about your husband going off and never coming back. This feels far more about what you need to do. Yes, think about things, but don't think too long. Take some action. And this root card of burning the candle at both ends, I don't think that's how you get him back or anything like that. I think again, all the practical stuff, my darling, counseling, couples therapy, all of that, if you can get that on board. But I'm most concerned about these two 8s, because the way they've come up, my darling, I've got the strongest feeling that he may well be, if not moved on already, he's kind of beginning to be ready to move on, if that makes sense. I don't think he is quite yet, but I think there is that chance. I'm so sorry, my darling, that you're going through this, and yeah, as I say, I do think you need to take some action and have those frank and very, very honest conversations. And it may well be, my darling, that your path is veering from your husband's, and that's your future is going to be much better and much brighter and more dazzling on your own. I know it won't feel like that while you're going through this, but again, I think you've got to have that conversation, and you might need to take action quite quickly, because I don't think that your husband's at the moment feeling any remorse or anything. I think he's off sowing his wild oats, or whatever the phrase is. But I hope that helps, my darling. I hope he does. If you can take some action, I think you could avoid this possibly. But you would need to take action quite quickly and try and get him to couples counselling or therapy or something. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. And I'm sure that there's lots of people in the chat that can relate to what you're going through. So all the best, my darling. And I really do hope that helps. Right then, let me have a look. I'm going to swap back to the other camera. There we go. And let's have a look. See. Country Love Homestead, I've got them for the major arcanas. So yeah, you did. Okay, my darling, exactly. You gave him an ultimatum. All I can do, my darling, all I can do, my darling, is say to you that, as Patricia's put there, look, the grass is never greener on the other side. It just looks that way. It does. And the thing is, when we look at somebody else's life, right, we only see what they choose us to see. Even if you go knocking on your neighbour's doorstep, right? You go knocking, your neighbour will have a quick shifty round. They'll have a quick, chuck that out quickly. Close the bedroom door. It looks horrible. What does she want? Hang on. Go and do this. Go and do that. Quick, close that door. Put some hairspray around the bathroom. You stink. Whatever it is. And I'm sure when you have someone unexpected called to your house, you'll probably do the same things. Because we all like to put our own shine on our own lives, don't we? We all like that. The problem is that I think your husband has seen something shiny from the outside, and he's like a magpie, because men are like this. Having spent half of my life being forced into that role, I can tell you men are like that, right? Unwillingly being forced into the male role. I hated it, but I got to learn a hell of a lot about men, and they are just like that. They're like magpies. Oh, what's this shiny thing over there? Oh, what's this shiny thing over here? And they will go to the next shiny thing, and that is a big thing about a lot of men. And I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men do that. And I do think that there is a certain amount where, some people are just going to look elsewhere. The reality comes in for you, my darling, that if he was going to look elsewhere now, he was probably going to do it at some point anyway. And at least if it's done now, and you decide that you can't put up with that and that isn't for you. Now, listen, if you are somebody who wants to take your husband back, that's perfectly fine. You've got your reasoning for that. If that's what ends up happening, don't let anybody tell you you're wrong. You are the only one who knows what is right for you, my darling, right? But if you decide that this is a bridge too far, then at least it hasn't been, at least we're not in 2034. And it's been another 10 years down the line. Do you know what I mean? So I hope that whatever the outcome is for you, my darling, he's got a month to decide. I think you're very, very, very kind to give him that time. And yeah, the advice about bank accounts and everything else is very true. And if you've got anything else where you are joint together, whether it's bills, mortgages, anything like that, do make sure that you've got your arse covered, right? Make sure you cover your arse, because I'm damn sure he'll probably be covering his. Do you know what I mean? I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. And let us know how it goes on, partly because we're all nosy bitches here, but also because we do actually care about the people that come into our chat. So yeah, do let us know what happens. And as Patricia's put there, whatever happens here on in, you're going to be okay, right? You are going to be okay. And 9 times out of 10, a few months down the line, you'll be much better than okay, because you'll have realized that maybe this one just genuinely wasn't for you, and that frees you up to go and find the one that is. Do you know what I mean? And I hope that helps, my darling. And thank you ever so much. Thank you for your time. And thank you for your question. Right then, I'm going to, so I've already told you about Neil and the horror zine that Neil writes, Necro Neil in the chat. It's phenomenal. I love it. It's currently by my bedside. I'm still reading about the blooming Cenobites. What's the film called? Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3. There you go. It's just Cenobites. I love the word. But yeah, I'm still reading those reviews at the moment. But Neil knows how much I love those films. So yeah. But I do actually have another moderator with a really cool witchy shop, and they do ship worldwide. Here's who I'm talking about. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the witchy community, from jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. And I know I keep showing it, but Holland, who runs Blue Chalice, look, they drew this and painted this. This is me as the pronoun protector at a Pride event. How cool is this? I mean, you know, give me 2 years on Slimming World and I might lose enough weight to do that. But yes, absolutely phenomenal. So yay. Right then, I do think it's time. Shall we go and have another round? I think we should have another round. Should we open up another round? I think we should. So then, what do I mean by that? Well, this is your chance to get a free reading, because the next round is open. Will that actually send today? Oh, it did. It wouldn't do that yesterday. The next round is open now. So what that means is that it's your opportunity to get a free tarot reading. It's a 3-card reading. It will be going down to a 1-card reading at some point, but it'll be a 3-card reading, and you can get yourself that absolutely free by putting your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. That's super important. I'll then get the keeper of the questions, one of the mods who has been selected today, to pick them at random. And the mod will then basically send me the name of the person that gets the reading, and I will do the reading for that person. That's how it works. It's completely at random. I have zero control over it, so I cannot pick my favorite person, give the reading to a friend, or anything like that. It's completely randomized. So if you would like a reading, go ahead. Pop your question into the chat, starting with the word question. Go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in 24 seconds. Okay, right then. So who is the one that gets the reading? Who is the keeper of the questions? Let me just turn this banner off because it's going to really do my head in. Right then. So it looks as if it is being chosen to be Nightfall. So Nightfall. Oh, Nightfall Waves. Aha. Right. I've got your question here. Let me pop it on the screen. There we go. Oh, before I do, Holland, you've been doing a lot of art on your YouTube channel recently. Have you? on Blue Chalice or Kazoo? I'll have to have a look. Put which one it is in the chat. Right then, so Nightfall Waves, hello my darling, I hope you are doing okay this fine and dandy Thursday evening. I've just realized I'm still on the same camera. Let me swap that over to the card cam for you. There we go. So then, as always, we're cleansing the space, even though it's like nearly 1 o'clock here in the UK. So luckily the neighbor next door downstairs with a baby, her baby's being cared for by someone else. So I say luckily, it means that I'm not going to wake the baby is what I was trying to say. But also it's probably better for the baby in all honesty. But you don't need to know about the soap opera that is my street. I'm telling you, it looked like one of those, it would look like one of those really odd, cheap daytime soaps from America. That's what it would look like. But it would also look a bit like, I don't know, Shameless. Let's have a look. Nightfall Waves. Will Scott and I reconcile? That's what we want to know, Wispy. Will Scott and Nightfall Waves reconcile? That's what it's all about, the relationships today, isn't it? It's all about the relationships. So then, what have we got in store for Scott and Nightfall Waves? There we go. Again, if you like the look of this deck, I am going to be putting some links to the decks that I use, because a few people have been asking what the decks are. And I only really use decks that speak to me. So, in fact, on the members only stream the other day, I was trying to get them to help me choose some decks from my collection. And I pulled a couple and I was just like, why have I even still got these? These are useless to me. So then, Nightfall Waves, let's have a look. Well, Scott and I reconcile. We're going to do a relationship spread. So I think we need to look at what we'll do, what you want, what Scott wants, and what the future of the relationship is. Okay, my darling? So, is that right, Wispy? So that's what we're doing. What Nightfall Waves wants, what Scott wants from the relationships, and what the relationship future holds, what that relationship opportunity is like. So then, what you want, okay, Queen of Pentacles. What Scott wants, oh, the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, and what the relationship outcome is. Are they going to reconcile? Okay, right, so let's look at the cards. So then, my darling, in the what you want, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is actually one of, or similar vibe to one of my favorite cards, or my favorite card of the tarot deck, which is the Empress. This is the one aspect almost of the Empress. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen has that nurturing wisdom about her. Okay, so she's learned lots of experiences in life, the Queen, and she is a wonderful person for nurturing life, for growing things, looking after people around her, all of that. Pentacles is the suit of money, career, and finances, but it's also Earth. You can see here with the plants, and sort of work as in how much work are you willing to put in, how much effort are you willing to put in, that sort of thing. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and she's somebody who wants to make sure that people around her are well looked after, make sure that people are healthy and wealthy and wise, but also we've got the rabbit, and the rabbit is obviously the universal symbol for fertility, or at least for the fertile act, shall we say, the bedroom act. So this is what you want from that relationship. So it's saying you want that sort of almost motherly role, whether or not you want kids. It's like, you know, you can have plants or fur babies or all of the above, none of the above, but you want that caregiver role. You want that nurturing vibe. You want to be able to have enough to help but for it not to be a big deal. You just want to be able to help support people. What Scott wants is either one of two things, okay? And they're polar opposites. So the Eight of Pentacles is either Scott wants to work all the hours that there is in order to earn lots and lots of money and progress up the career ranks and up the career ranks. And that's all that Scott's interested in is money, 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 money. Reason I'm saying that is because the Eight of Pentacles is talking about basically burning the candle at both ends to meet a deadline. It's that, you know, you've got lots and lots of hard work in mind. There's lots of things that you have to finish. Deadlines are flowing. Let's just, you know, we'll pull an all-nighter to get this deadline in for the blah, blah, blah corporation. We'll do this, we'll do that. That's the sort of vibe that we get from the Eight. However, because it's reversed, it could be that this is absolutely the opposite. And that actually what Scott wants is to down tools, because he's been doing this for so long that actually, do you know what? It's time now. I've had enough. I don't want to burn that candle at both ends. I want to settle down, or I want to stop partying, or whatever it is. There's this element here of I am literally burning out if I don't make a change. In terms of the relationship, only you know which one this is, but it kind of feels, if the way that you are almost in two different planes, it's interesting that you're both on the same suit, which is Pentacles, but very different feeling. One is a nurturing, loving, kind of supportive vibe, and the other is, let's just get all the money and, you know, sort everything else, we'll just make all the money. The relationship potential, it is a cup card, which is about emotions. However, it is the 5. Now, the 5 of Cups is about not realizing what you've got until it's gone, basically, but also not realizing that you could still have things. There is still, not everything is lost. There is still some hope, right? Reason I'm saying that is we've got the 5 cups here over the house. You can see the house is being flooded. The water's up to the windows. Anytime you see water in a tarot card, it's talking about emotions. This is very dark, thick, running water, very deep water. These are deep emotions that are happening. But then we've got the 5 cups that the card is talking about. So one is a rusted old, crushed up soda can. One is a broken bottle. One is a cup of water or a glass of water. One is a cup with a tea bag hanging down. And the other one is an empty cup on its last drop. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because this cup is not broken. But when you look at it for the first time, you think, oh, there's 3 crap ones and only 2 decent ones over there. On balance, it's all a bit shit, really. You know, the shit outweighs the good stuff. However, this cup isn't broken. It's just empty. It can be refilled. All you need to do is literally take that cup, put it in the water, and it's a full cup again. It's a full cup of water. And this card, if it was this way up, is saying, look, there is still hope for a silver lining. There is still hope for that reconciliation. There is still hope. When it's this way up, my darling, it's literally saying that I think there are some difficult choices here, and some very difficult, tough emotions to go through, if you like, but it doesn't feel like this is edging towards reconciliation. If it was this way up, it would be a bit more hopeful, but it feels like whatever's happened in the relationship, when you kind of look at it, you see empty cup, broken bottle, rusted can. And these two here just can't balance that out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, well, that cup's empty, so therefore it's no good. Or maybe it's got a leak, or maybe blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that hope then just fizzles away. What I would say, my darling, is that in fact, I tell you what, I'm going to pull you a fourth card. So, Wispy, I want the fourth card to be, should Nightfall Waves let this one go, grieve, heal, make space for the next relationship, or should Nightfall Waves attempt to repair this and see where it could go? Let's have a look. Oh, it's the Lovers reversed. I think that it could be time, my darling, to call it a day and for you to be able to move on to the next relationship. If this had been upright, I'd be saying go after Scott, check Scott out, go make the phone calls, send the flowers and all the gubbins, put a shout out on local radio and all the things. But when this is reversed, I think it's time. So I don't know what happened in the split. I don't know whose fault or who's to blame, but it feels, my darling, that you've got so much warm, abundant energy here that if Scott's going to walk away, then he's the one that's going to realize down the line what he's lost out on. Because this is really lovely, warm, nurturing, loving energy that you're providing. And if Scott doesn't want it, I know there'll be lots of other Scotts down the line that will absolutely, bite your hand off for a chance of this type of relationship. I hope that helps, my darling. Very, very best of luck to you. And yeah, do please let us know how things go. But I hope that it's probably not what you want to hear, but at least it is the guidance that you need, my darling. And I do hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question. Oh God, I hate delivering news that isn't, hearts and flowers and everything's wonderful. I really do. Let me have a look. Okay. Yep, there's still time. Country Love Homestead. I keep reading your name and missing out the R. I know, right? Better not read that out on the Facebook, on the YouTube, Facebook. Let's have a look. You showed your daughter and daughter-in-law, and they both said, yes, you and I resemble each other. Do we? Hang on, how have you got your hair? So your hair's all back and tied back, and then you're at an angle like that, and you go, hang on, we've got an eyebrow raised, and we're, all right. Something like that. Maybe. I look like a lot of people though. Let me just have a look. Things will be better. Exactly. Better things will come. Oh gosh. It's been a difficult night for news tonight, hasn't it? Can we please have some lovely positive vibes, please, Wispy? I know what Wispy's saying. Only if it's what's true. You know me by now, everybody. I could sit here and blow smoke up all your backsides and say everything is wonderful, everything is awesome, but you know that would be a lie. And the channel, we start with authenticity. Unlike other channels where that's their goal, we start with authenticity. Do you know what? Partly it's because if I look directly straight at the camera, like I used to all the time. I used to like raise one eyebrow and lower another on purpose. But if you look straight on, I've actually got a lopsided face. I think at some point I had a minor stroke and my face slipped because when my brows were tattooed on, this was the same height. And then that's happened. So at some point, this one was higher and it's fallen. And this whole side of my face is slightly, even if you look here, look where the cheeks are, you can see there's a noticeable shift. So yeah, at some point, in amongst all my health shit, I think I've had a minor stroke. So yes, but yeah, I used to raise my eyebrows a lot. It used to be a quizzical eyebrow. Anyway, what we're talking about eyebrows for? Shall we have another reading? I think we should have another tarot reading because after all, we are on the late shift. Go on then, let's hit that magic button. Let's get the late shift going. If you would like a tarot reading, please go ahead, pop your question into that there live chat. Don't press the end stream button. Pop your question into the live chat or send it through as a super chat. That's what I was trying to say. Don't forget, every time you send a super chat, YouTube takes its 30%, and whatever's left, we do 10% to Fight Bladder Cancer and 10% to Bladder Cancer UK, the two charities that help me out whilst I've been going through bladder cancer. And in fact, hopefully next month, I haven't got a date yet, but either next month or it'll probably be backdated to September, I am due to go for my 2-year post-surgery check. And if I get through that, it means I'm cancer clear, and I've got the all clear. So yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, go ahead, pop your questions into the live chat and do the things, do all the things. Start your question with the word question, and I'll be back in 32 seconds. Okay, for once, it doesn't look like I need to ask the keeper of the questions because it looks like we've got one in on this spot. So, country, love homestead. Do you know, there was a time I would have just said the other version and I would have just kept on saying it because I would have thought it was very funny. But these days, thank you, Neil. These days, there is an R in it. Neil just sent me your name, but without the R, and I was like, "No, it has got an R. It really does." Completely threw me then. Right then. So, also, I've got to tell you, there is a home goods shop that does craft stuff. So basically, it's where you go and get all of your artificial flowers in your baskets and all of that. For various events, and they do, you know, like wedding catering and party catering and things like that. So if you want to go and get a giant inflatable champagne bottle and champagne colored balloons to do a lovely balloon arch for some celebration, that's where you go, right? As well as your wicker baskets and your dried pumpkins and all of that stuff. It's called Country Baskets. And I was working in the pub trade, and I was part of the team that used to decorate the pub. So guess what we called it? It was definitely Country Baskets. That R was definitely said every single time. But also, I've got to say, it was very much country with a very hard K sound at the front. And sometimes that R, you just couldn't hear it. We said it, you just couldn't hear it live. I don't know what it was. So we used to go to Country Baskets an awful lot. It was a lot of fun. I used to love going there. Do you know what? Being given the pub's credit card and told to go and get things to make and do and decorate with. Oh, it's like every kid's dream when you go to school and it's like, oh, I need some more stationery. Imagine that, but in a whole massive warehouse full of stuff. Oh, God, I used to go mad in there, I say. Anyway, Country Love Homestead, let me have a look. Your heart is with a cold aqua. You're torn between anything worth having is worth fighting for and love is easy. How should I approach this? I love him, but don't want to be a fool. Okay, my darling. So, torn between anything worth having is worth fighting for and love is easy. Love is never easy. Never, ever, ever. Love is never easy, my darling. It can be blissful. It can be like loving and caring and all of these lovely things, but it's never ever easy. There's always compromises when you don't expect to have compromises, or there's, you know, emotional baggage that you need to deal with to let some other energy through. Love is always a challenge. But the cold aqua, do you mean Aquarius? Okay, I think that makes sense. Right, okay, I think I know what the question is. So then, Wispy, Country Love Homestead wants to know, her heart is with a cold Aquarian, and they're torn between anything worth having is worth fighting for, and we'll say relationships are easy or love is easy, it's round the corner. What should they do to approach this? What does Country Love Homestead need to do to approach this? She loves him, but doesn't want to be a fool. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I haven't got the other camera on. Hold on, card cam. There we go. So let's have a look. What is the best option here? So, that's not one card. I thought that was going to be a single card then. That was going to be our modifier, but it isn't. So Wispy, Country Love Homestead basically wants to know, should she fight on with the cold Aquarian, or go and search for something else, something better, something easier maybe? Let's have a look. Oh, Wispy. Right. Okay. Right. One more round. That's one. That's two. Still didn't drop. Still didn't drop. If you want it to drop, Wispy, you need to kick it out again, because I just assumed that was my bad shuffling. Now I'll do your bonus shuffle. And that doesn't count because it's more than one card. Oh, no, it is one card. Ah, right. Oh, bollocks. Right. Okay. Okay. Big hairy bollocks. So you've got a card that's dropped. Okay. So when a card drops, as I was just asking Wispy to do, Wispy is the air elemental dragon that I work with for the tarot, like this one, but in ether. Cups is the emotional suit, right? Sevens are all about incredibly difficult choices. So in this case, you've got to choose from all of these things, none of which is particularly good. So you've got this snake. I don't think that's a snake. Hold on a second. That's a bloody octopus. I have said for years that that is a snake, and it's a bloody octopus. Of course it is, because it's in water. Bugger me. Blow me down with a feather. Right, so you've got an octopus in one. I did wonder, you know. I did wonder the other day. I was like, oh, it's going towards this. And I thought, no, because that's not a head, that's a tail. So we've got an octopus going for the goldfish or the koi carp. We've got in this magic bottle, we've got a scroll. We've got a little snow globy thing here. This bottle or cup is a glass with a spider, upturned glass with a spider. We've got one of those terrariums where you grow mushrooms and make it look like a giant house or whatever. You know what I mean? Where you grow your plants and then you put a tiny little house. Again, the goldfish and the ship in a bottle. So what this is saying is there are lots of different choices and lots of different options. And the Seven of Cups is saying it's like each one of these comes with its own gift. Now, you might not want the spider, but what if that spider was the radioactive spider that would make you Spider-Woman? Then it's interesting, isn't it? You see, you don't know what this scroll is. You could opt for the scroll and get the scroll, and it could be the secret to eternal youth, or it could be an out-of-date voucher for 20% off a packet of noodles. Do you know what I mean? There's lots at stake here in terms of romance. There's lots of choices, and the thing is, because this has come up reversed, it's like whatever choice you end up picking, you're gonna feel is the wrong choice. Whatever you do, you're gonna feel that it's the wrong choice at heart. But let's see if we can narrow this down a little bit. Let's do your cut. Right, there we go. So then you've got the Queen of Cups. So we're doing where you are, what you need to know, and what the potential outcome is. So where you are, the Queen of Cups. This is a wonderful card. A wonderful, wonderful card. I'll explain. Okay. So why is the Queen of Cups a wonderful card? Well, first of all, I think, again, there's a certain element where I think it's a little bit maybe a little bit like sort of me or something, sat on a table at one of these events. I'm doing one on the 22nd of September in Bingley, everybody. If you're around in the UK, in Bingley, I'll let you know nearer the time, the full details, but keep an eye out. So look, you can see you've got all these crystals hanging above either in the window or hanging from the curtains or whatever, with a symbol with an eye, a scrying bowl, tarot cards, more crystals, runes, all sorts, and they've got pink boots on, and I also have a pair of pink Dr. Martens, so yay. But the Queen of Cups itself is all about love. It's about having that loving feeling, and having that massive heart, all about love, wanting to express it, wanting to be in love, having so much love to give for someone, all of that, right? All of that. It's such a wonderful card that you are in this position where you are wanting to give all of this to someone else. What do you need to know? In the what you need to know position, we've got the Chariots. Now, the Chariot is about movement, okay? But if I was playing it this way round, like this, if it was that way round, then it's talking about a journey that you're going, a journey that you're going on that's going to be fun, and it's going to be a movement for you. It's going to be probably quite a positive mood because you're choosing it. This way round, it's saying that this journey isn't a journey that you want to be going on. And perhaps this is looking at the relationship, and maybe this isn't a relationship that you want to be going on quite at the moment. I think there's definitely, I mean, it's obvious in the question, but I think you're definitely not just torn. I think you're very finely balanced about what you do in this relationship. And I think you really do need to sort of decide what it is that you want. Is it better to be in a relationship that might not tick every box, but where you might feel loved and, respected? Or does this relationship not tick any box and you don't feel loved and respected at all? If that's the case, personally, I would go somewhere else. I would say, if this relationship isn't working and one of you or both of you are bloody miserable, then I would literally be like, okay, I've had enough of this then. Are we going to try counselling? We've tried that. Are we still just not connecting? Well, then sometimes you've got to realise that it's like trying to connect an old Apple with an old Apple iPhone or an iPad with an Android charger. Just not going to do it, is it? Do you know what I mean? As much as you want the two to connect, and in theory it should, that little bit of difference means it's completely incompatible. The future, the relationship future, we've got the 8 of Wands. Now, this is where I think I think literally just saying, I'm just cleaning the card off, look, as we speak. I'm just saying, do you want it to be this or this? I think it's telling you, I think if you had to answer right now, would you rather be in a relationship that had that love connection and that level of respect and you know, even if it wasn't full on hearts, flowers and angels singing from above, but there was that love and deep respect for one another? Or would you rather have, you know, or would you rather have that, or kind of what it feels like you've got, where it's a bit of a cold fish? I know what you would probably want to do. Reason is that this is the 8 of Wands in the future relationship. Now, Wands is all about security, confidence, self-esteem, right? The 8 is where you've gathered together. If you imagine eight wands, right? 8 sticks, and you've written on those all the things that make you happy, all the things that make you confident, all the things that give you that lovely feeling of self-esteem, of warmth, of I love myself, right? And you've got those all written on those 8 wands or 8 lolly sticks, whatever it is, and you throw them out the window. And then you run downstairs and you get to pick up the ones that you want to take forward. Okay, and you pick up the best of the bunch. That is what this card is talking about. It's talking about whenever we get to the 8, it's all about how you make the journey to the 9. The 8 is literally a stepping stone card. It's a transitional card. So what this is saying basically, my darling, is look, yes, this is going to go off with a bang. There are going to be fireworks. There is going to be an explosion of the elements that make up your life. Is all going to be up in the air. What happens then is that you get to choose which parts of your life you pick up and move forward with, whether or not that is with the relationship with the cold Aquarius. The strongest feeling I've got, the fact that you've got the 8 of Wands coming up in a positive. You had the Chariot reversed and the Queen of Cups as a positive. This is telling me you're a very loving person. This is telling me you're going in a direction you don't want to go. And this is telling me that you really want to have that passion that isn't here. And this is telling me that all of these decisions are absolutely impossible and that you really are stuck. But what I would say, my darling, is listen, if you want those fireworks and if you want to choose what is best for you to move forward, then perhaps moving forward is exactly what you need to do. So I hope you help, my darling. I hope that helps. I really do. But again, thank you ever so much for your question. And let us know what you choose and let us know how things go. Sometimes you can hold on to a relationship and hope it improves and hope it improves and hope it improves. And then you realize that you've held on to it for so long that you're too old to find another one. And that's almost a perfect quote from a lovely old woman that I used to work with in a nursing home. And that's something that she would say. And she held on to her slightly dodgy relationship for so long that she ended up in the nursing home, and that was that, if that makes sense. And I hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question. Right, let's have a look in that there live chat. Good evening, Caribbean Queen. I'm opening up another round shortly. We've still got over half an hour, so bear with us for that. You're not cold. You're not cold, not at all. Yeah, I think it's a neurodiverse thing. You're not cold at all, at all. He's dealing with a lot, and you're feeling like I should stick around and just show him, hey, I'm not like your past, but I guess I'm scared of the unknown. What if you wait and end up hurt? Exactly, my darling. It feels like you're worth the wait, but it takes two. It really does. It really does. Maybe you need to have that really frank conversation. maybe you really do need to have that frank conversation, because that Chariot card, you're not going anywhere fast. Do you know what I mean? You're not going anywhere fast, my darling. I think you need to have that strong conversation. I really do. And I hope that helps. Oh, you're going to learn how to swim. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, just make sure you go with what your heart is telling you, my darling. Just make sure you go with what your heart is telling you. But anyway, thank you very much. Yep. Again, Jay, I agree entirely. Right then, Judy, let me have a look. Holland, I have the worst people skills ever. I woke up this morning. Literally, I was barely dressed. And the plasterers were at the front door. And they came in, and then they looked at the kitchen and went, "Oh, no, we need everything cleared. We can't do it in here." And I was like, "Well, what needs clearing?" "Oh, everything." I said, "What? Drawers, cupboards? Like, what are you telling us?" "Well, everything needs." I said, "Look, we haven't been told. I don't know how extensive it is, the work that you're doing. We haven't been told anything. Like, what needs moving? Like, we were told you're doing the bathroom and the kitchen. Can you do the bathroom first? Can you do this first? Like, what is it that needs to happen?" And the guy was like, "Well, everything, can't do this. Everything's wrong." And I said, "All right." I said, "Well, let us know what it is that needs to be done." I said, "We weren't told anything." I said, "It's a disabled flat and it's 8 o'clock in the morning." I said, "We're doing our best here." I said, "If you tell us what needs doing, then that'll help us." But just coming in and saying, ain't going to make a fucking difference. Ain't going to fucking help. Cue him turning into White Van Man. "Oh, well, actually, if you swear at me, blah, 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 blah." And immediately I was like, and then Rufus was like, "You were a bit stroppy with him." I'm like, "I wasn't stroppy. I'm just trying to get my point across." But I was a bit stroppy. Definitely was stroppy. But yeah. In a lot of pain. Why are you in a lot of pain, Jay? What's happened now? Good evening, Valeria. Right. No, that's Valeria. Yeah, I'm sorry you're in pain as well, Jay, but what's happened now? Hopefully you're all right, my love. Right, let me go to Judy's question, which is there. Judy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a drink of squash. Me, can you hear me? Am I back? Hopefully I'm back, because I ran out of song to sing. But yes, right, I'm going to hit this magic button, grab a slurpy drink, and I will be back. Thank you. I needed a drink of squash. I don't know if you know what squash is. It's orange cordial. It's like a juice drink, but it's not made from real juice. It's like orange flavoring that you add to water and then you drink it. I know you don't really get it in the States that often, but yes. Right then, so I've got Judy's question in. You want a general reading, my darling? Absolutely no problem at all. Don't forget, by the way, the members do influence lots of things on the channel. Lots of the things that are coming in are down to member suggestions, not just things like what deck I'm going to use, but the we had a bit of a discussion, and at times, and that can lead on to all sorts of various bits and bobs that sit in the back of my head. And sometimes they sit in the back of my head for days, and sometimes they sit in the back of my head for months. And I may well go ahead and do lots of things, like buy random spinny things and dice things and all of these things, only to then have a conversation from probably 3 months ago turn around and reappear in my head where I'm just like, oh, we need a keeper of the questions. That'll make much more sense. So yes, our members chats are 6 p.m. UK time every Sunday evening. And also when I do tarot deck reviews and things like that, they are open to the members. So whatever time I end up going live, I will record it live as a members only. So the members can come in and chime in with whatever they think about the decks. And then all of that, when the video gets edited down, there's like an hour and a half of filming will get edited into a 15-minute video or 20-minute video. So you can imagine how much gets cut out from those. So yeah, do feel, if you want to check out our memberships, do hit the join button. It's somewhere. I don't know quite where it is, but do hit that join button if you want to check that out. It really does help pay for all the gubbins that helps with the channel. So yes, indeed. Also, don't forget, everybody, if you are ever looking for a private one-to-one reading, either in person or via video or via recorded video, do check out the channel, which my website, which is beyondauthentic.co.uk. So www.beyondauthentic.co.uk. Go and check that out if you want to book a private reading. So then, right, let's have a look for Judy. A general reading, please. We can certainly do that, my darling. Let's have a look. I need to remember to press the button. There we go. There we go. And we're going to bring the ever lovely Wispy in. So Wispy, Judy, otherwise known as You Are Not Enough. So you are enough, not you are not enough. I know, right? Confused myself then. Judy, otherwise known as You Are Enough, wants a general reading, please. A general reading for Judy. A general Judy. We're going to salute her in the chat. Do, 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 do. Is that a military song? Or is that the baseball song? Can't remember. I can't remember. To do. Oh no, that's the anthem for France. Oh my gosh! Don't try doing music at 1:36 in the morning, Lisa. That's not going to help. Right then. To do. Oh gosh! I think someone's put whiskey in my in my orange squash. Right, let's have a look. Come on, Wispy, do the drop. There we go. Right then, so let's have a look, Judy. A general reading. We're going to go with the standard. Go on then. So Wispy, inverted triangle, standard 3. Where you are, what you need to know. Oh, the Emperor. And what the future opportunity is like, and then what is connecting the 6 of Pentacles to the Emperor, Page of Cups, what is connecting the Emperor to the 3 of Wands, ooh, the 2 of Swords reversed, and what is the root of everything for the next few weeks, the Star. This is the other one, you see. This is the other one where I'm sure whilst I was doing my skinny dipping at a neighbour's hot tub, I'm sure someone's taken a photo and used it for this. You know, before I got my hair cut. I'm really sure, because, I mean, you know. Although I've got to say, oh no, it's about right. Right, shut up, Lisa. Shut up. Right, so let's have a look. In the, where you are right now, we've got the 6 of Pentacles. I think life's been quite tough to you at the moment, Judy. I think life is being quite tough, and I don't know whether this is you having to ask for help and support, or whether you are trying to offer help and support to someone else. It feels more like, I think this is something that you're needing the support at the moment, and I think it's something you're very unused to and isn't sitting very comfortably with you. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I've got this vibe about it. It feels like if you look at this, right, you've got a tin of beans or a tin of something. I don't know what that would be. A packet of something, lollipops or pads, tampons. It could be. Look, it might actually be tampons because of that string there. And then we've got a toy, some gloves, some more tin of food, and what looks like baby food. So this looks like it's all going into a support box. Do you know what I mean? A donations box. And it feels like at the moment you're having to get some support. But again, I think this is a temporary thing for you, and I think it's something that will hopefully pass. I think you're not going to need this for much longer. It does feel like it's linked into either the absence of the emperor, or it's down to some really stupidly shit decisions that the emperor has made, if that makes sense. Because the emperor is the master, not in a Doctor Who kind of way, but the emperor is the architect of the tarot deck. He's literally the one who controls and lays out everything else. He is the one who makes the hard and fast rules that the kings in the deck in the suits have to stick to. He is the one who lays it all out, and it's kind of, you know, like where you think it's from divine plan. Well, actually, in the tarot suit, all of the major cards are on the same level, and then the minors are all underneath. So it's not the divine plan, it's the emperor's plan. And it does feel like whoever this emperor is, so it could be a father figure, could be a husband figure, could be an authority figure like a boss or something. It really does feel that this person is kind of coming down on you like a ton of bricks right now. Does that make sense? It really does feel like the emperor it's not supporting you. It really is that kind of, how can I say, it's that kind of it's that feeling that the emperor is not living up to his duty in that position, if that makes sense. In the future opportunity position, we've got the Three of Wands. So again, this is talking about bringing people into a situation, improving a situation, and having that start to lift off, literally with the balloons. So it's starting something, or having started something, seeing the future brighter, seeing your confidence beginning to grow, everything's beginning to lift. So it really does feel like you've got a much more potential future than your present or past. Right, the linking the Six and the Emperor, we do have the Page of Cups. Bear with me 1 second. I just need, sorry, I'm going to need a brief comfort break. Bear with me for just a minute. I just need to run for a wee. Again, unfortunately, I've been drinking lots of squash, and but since the cancer, my bladder just cannot take it. I need to run, otherwise there's going to be an accident. Bear with, I'll come back to the page. It's nothing bad. I'll come back to the page in a second. Sorry, everybody. I couldn't turn the bloody music off then. That video once it got playing, it went on a loop, and then I could have been back like 30 seconds ago, but I couldn't get the blooming thing stopped. Oh, gosh, sorry about that. Sorry, Judy, my love. Call of nature. Anyway, right, back to where we were. So, linking. Oh, hang on. Let me just have a look in the comment section. Hopefully. Oh, no, unfortunately, no, don't have a coffee. Don't have a coffee. I mean, if you wanted to, I could have I do have like some nice lo-fi music in the background. So I could have put something on like, you know, some little lo-fi music in the background, but I linked it all in with that video just because I was like, oh my God. Everything resonates so far. Thank you, Judy, for the confirmation. So the Page of Cups, how does the page come in? The page is youthful energy. So this could be yourself. This could be a child in the connection. It's talking about that really youthful energy that is dealing with like not first love necessarily, but you know that youthful love where it's like, oh, I really love you so much, and we're going to be so happy and live in a castle, and we're going to have like three servants, and we're going to have the teacups will dance around, and there'll be a rose and it will drop its petals, and it's all going to be lovely, and I'm going to have a castle with roses around their sides and thorns, and then when my prince, do you know what I mean? So it's like that Disney messed up version. But whoever this person is, I think it could even relate to you, Judy, in the fact that your expectations about a romantic element with the Emperor has now been flipped upside down. So it's almost like you were expecting something, and actually it's coming out to be the exact opposite, if that makes sense. And I think it's one of those things where it's like the wall has been the wall's not been pulled over your eyes. Now the wall has been lifted off your eyes. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've been made to realize exactly what the Emperor's done or what the Emperor's been doing. And I think it's come with a huge argument. I really do, because the Two of Swords is the universal argument card. It's crossed swords, crosswords. It's all of that. It's that negativity that can happen between people that know each other quite well. So it's siblings that have maybe falling out, or it could be, you know, relationships where you really do love each other, but because you've loved each other, you can be incredibly hurtful to one another. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. There's all sorts of elements in play there, and it's a cliche, but it's true. We always do hurt the ones we love the most, and I think that is absolutely true. Especially when we're in that, especially when we're in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? And I think whatever's happened, I think the Emperor has maybe, listen, right, what I'm trying to say is I think the Emperor is out of the picture, right? That is what I think has happened. I think the Emperor is out of the picture. He's either buggered off or you've told him to bugger off after some arguments. But that is leaving you open to a better future longer term. Does that make sense? And again, if this is a partner, then I think you're in the right, because the Emperor Reserved is not a nice person. The Emperor Reserved is all about control, manipulation, gaslighting, but also control with a capital con. Really, really can be quite a nasty individual at times. So it does feel like at least you're out of that clutch now. It does lead us to our root card, which is the Star. Now, the Star itself isn't it's not a bad card, you know. I often say that it's about wishful thinking and wishing on a star and all of those things, and actually you should stop wishing and start doing. But there is also that fact that, you know, you have to kind of wish to be able to see something, to be able to see that, you know, become manifest. Do you know what I mean? You have to have an idea of what you want. It's like an ideas board, isn't it? You know, where you've got that idea where, you know, you cut out all the pictures of a magazine of the clothes you want to wear and the house you want to live in and all of that. And that's your ideas board. It's kind of like that, where actually the star figure itself kind of do you know what it says? It makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Where you've got that element of wanting to move forward. Just remember though, with the star, there's a lot of emotion involved, and whilst you can, you know, sit back at night time and look at the stars and be moved, there's a lot of emotion that you have to deal with. If we take the Emperor completely out of the equation, stick them over on the other on the pile, we've got this story here, and it's a story where actually it's not too bad, right? So we go from the past, where there is a certain element of you know, needing support, wanting support, and sort of being in a position where you need a bit of assistance, because you've had this realization over sort of a romantic connection. You then start changing the situation caused by the Two of Swords, because that, I think, then becomes less of a direct issue. But then we head to the Three of Wands, which is the beginning of things being turned upright, if that makes sense. Things being turned over. It's like the sand timer, you know what I mean? Like the egg timer has been turned, and now it's that whole new start, that whole new chapter. And because the Three of Wands is about upliftment, I think it's going to be in the weeks and even months to come. I think you're going to feel this coming in. At the moment, I think that you are tied up here and on this level with the Page of Cups, with that sort of emotional awakening about a relationship, and with the Two of Swords, that being that, you know, that the residue of the arguments and the disagreements. I think be wary of wishful thinking. So be wary of thinking, you know, either he'll change, or there'll be a different side of him, or he'll come back, or he'll do this, or he'll do that. Do you know what I mean? You have to only go. My lovely husband has a saying, which is, people will show you who they are, and the first time they show you who they are, that is when it's time. That is what they're going to show. That is all they can ever show you. The first time they truly show you who they are, that is who they are, right? They might have hidden it before and all of those things. But yes, it does. Yes, it does, Judy. It does make sense that leaves you spiritually guided. But it's also, again, it's a really good, because it's a water sign. It's kind of like, it's kind of like coming in with that Aquarius type energy. It's coming in with that going with the flow energy for the time being. But this is the card that's important here, Judy, and that is the Three of Wands, because it's talking about, in the weeks and months to come, you're going to feel better. You're going to get past whatever this all is. You're going to rise above. You're going to lift up. You're going to feel your spirits lift. This is a really, for such a minor card, this is a really positive one for you, certainly in that position. And that is going to be your reading for today, Judy. I'm so sorry I had to take a comfort break in the middle. I was hoping to go on till 2 and not have to do that, but thank you for bearing with me. And yeah, that is going to be your reading tonight, my darling. But thank you ever so much for donating, and thank you for being a member, and thank you for being here. You're ever so kind. And I hope that reading helps. I really do. for those of you that weren't able to get a reading tonight, you've got a couple of options. You can always go and check out the website, details there. Look, beyondauthentic.co.uk. Use code authentic10 for a 10% saving. That is my professional rates, and that's also where I am going to be telling you, let me get that out right. Yes, I'm going to be telling you exactly where I'm going to be on the 22nd of September. So if you're in the UK and you're in that there Yorkshire, I will be in Bingley at a health and healing mind, body, spirit type event on the 22nd in Bingley. So do keep an eye out for that. I'll be updating the website hopefully probably tomorrow when the plasterers are in. So I'll be doing that. I'll be doing that tomorrow. And as I say, for me, what the hell am I talking about? I'll be updating the website tomorrow with where I'm going to be. But if you want a reading, a private reading or a one-to-one Zoom call reading or whatever it is, the details are on the website. Go and check that out, and also get yourself that authentic 10 discount. Don't forget, members, if you are a channel member, you do get a 25% discount. So there you go. It's worth more than the membership, put it that way. But details of that are on the members' sites. Anyway, thank you, everybody. And thank you so much for being here. Can I just say a huge thank you to the mods again. They've stayed up till 2 a.m. because my brain goes, oh, go on, let's do another one of our late shifts. I love the late shifts. It's a much more zen vibe. It's a really relaxed, chillaxed vibe. And in fact, sometimes I know that some of you end up having a bit of a snooze, a little bit of a off you go to beddy buys time when I'm on, because my voice is a little bit calmer, the energy's a bit calmer, and I've heard from several of you that basically like to use it as a bit of a nap time, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Anyway, everybody, that is going to be it from us. Thank you very much to the members. Thank you ever so much to the subscribers. Thank you very much to the moderators. You are, as you know, the best mods anywhere on the YouTubes. And yeah, thank you to everybody for watching. And if you haven't got a question, don't forget I will be back on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time or 6 p.m. UK time for the members. Anyway, that's it from me. And all I've got to say is stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I'll catch you on the next one, which is Sunday. Bye-bye.